Hi, and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm back with another episode of the Real Talk videos I've been doing. And this one is all about how Etsy fame won't pay your bills, but branding will. And I hope you're going to enjoy these videos. So, if you've ever been refreshing your Etsy stats, and we have all done it 12 times a day, maybe more, praying that that viral moment's going to hit, and this video is for you. Because Etsy fame is not the goal, building your brand is. That's what turns products into profits. Let's talk about why focusing on the algorithm is keeping you invisible and how to shift into a long term scalable mindset. Really, most of our problems as digital product creators is in our initial mindset. Most of us ran across maybe a ad for something, or we heard something in a group about how digital products were just like the best thing and how we could make all this passive income. So we usually start and come into this whole business from the wrong mindset, from knowing that others are successful but not exactly knowing how they got there. So it's really hard not to look at someone's success. And sometimes people are successful quicker, but you don't know their backstory. You don't know their other connections, and you definitely don't know their exposure to the market and what they're doing. Because really, in most businesses, people are pretty tight lipped about how they are successful because um, they can interpret other creators as their competition, and they don't want to give anyone else a leg up or a way that they could potentially do better than they do. So that's just kind of a common thing with most businesses. So, one of the problems I see is that a lot of people believe that becoming popular and becoming a star seller on Etsy equates real success. However, the star seller badge, while it is a something to strive for, it has different components, that. But really, as far as making money, you are not going to be able to distinguish from a star seller. You're not going to be able to tell really how successful they are, because the bar is kind of low. It's $300 over like 3 months, I think it is. So you're not going to see how much money they're actually making. So yes, it's a popularity, thing, and it shows that they have obtained some success on Etsy and at least maintained that. But it also does not show you how they go above, like how much they're doing. So yes, you want to do that, because that does differentiate you if you can. But a lot of people that are making a lot of money don't ever make star seller because of the them being able to not respond properly and quickly to their messages, and maintaining that average for the reviews. So there are a lot of people making a lot of money that are skirting right under that are not going to have a star seller badge. So that's not a way to actually measure anything. So, and we really don't need to be looking at other people anyway. We need to be looking at ourselves and doing better than we're doing. Measure our success day to day and month to month, week to week, and month to month on how we are improving our game, not what somebody else is doing. We can use them for examples that it can be done, but then we need to push ourselves to get where we need to go. Becoming an Etsy bestseller is really a cool thing to do, and it also is going to allow you something. And I'm not sure that the ones of you who have made that distinction. Number one, you want to screenshot when you do, and then from that point on, you have a best-selling product. So you need to leverage that in your marketing, that you have a best-selling product. I'm able to do that because all of my playbooks have been Etsy bestsellers. Now, one of them in particular was an Etsy bestseller for a long time, but then it's that particular playbook is just not what I consider like a volume playbook. It's like an extra playbook, so it tends to come in spurts. When people are purchasing it. So, but it has been a bestseller, so it is still a bestseller. It was a best-selling product. And so learn to use those, capitalize on that if you ever make that distinction. Okay, so one of the things that a lot of people fail to think about is that Etsy can remove those badges. You can lose your star seller. They can change the criteria. Your bestseller badge may not stay there forever. You may have a big, huge push. And so that badge that Etsy puts on there may not be there the whole time. You may have to use and incorporate that into some of your Etsy listings if you want people to continue to see it as kind of a bestseller. But you don't control it. And that's the thing about Etsy and these other platforms is you're not controlling anything. When you build only for Etsy, you are building on rented land. So it is very important very early on, because the earlier you start this, you're like going, "Oh, but I don't really have anything to promote." Listen, one of the main things you need to be doing is going and getting your store name. If that's going to be your business name, you need to be going ahead and paying the 10 or 15 bucks it takes to buy that URL or rent that URL, whatever. You have to pay for it every year. But you need to get your URL or the closest thing to your business name that you're using on Etsy as an extension of you. You need to reserve it in a Facebook group, because you may not want to use it now, but you're going to want to use it in the future. And then somebody else maybe come behind you, had the same idea for a name, and they maybe snapped it up. So you want to make sure that you are planning from the very beginning, and don't fret if you haven't done this, just go do it now, okay? So chasing trends or duplicating what's already selling is blending in and not standing out. Now, having said that, I'm not telling you not to follow trends and use them to your advantage, or where it says duplicating what's already selling. I mean, you have to look. That is only smart for you to go in and look to see what is selling, and then make your own version of it to sell. That's smart. That's not the point of this. The point is, don't only do that. Don't only chase trends. Don't only duplicate what other people are doing. Go out and into the internet world, Google it, Pinterest, different places like that, and be the person that identifies these trends on your own before everybody in the world is got on working them on Etsy. So the mindset shift is so important, from Etsy seller to brand builder. If you can change that mindset and realize that your Etsy shop is just the storefront and you are the brand, then you are going to jump ahead of so many other digital product sellers. Brands don't wait for permission, they go ahead and attract. And people follow brands, not listings. Your product and its messaging and its content and its visuals and story equals your brand ecosystem. So if you're building this ecosystem, then you're communicating your brand. How are you communicating your brand? What are you doing that is setting you apart from all the millions of different listings and different sellers on Etsy or whatever platform that you're selling on? You need to start cultivating that brand and your personality when it comes to being a seller and finding ways that you can set yourself apart. So, here are a few things that you can focus on instead to build your brand. Know who you serve. And I know I used to get so frustrated because, I'm just one of those people that I already came in with a good knowledge base of things about digital products and digital, just doing business digitally, the online system of doing things. However, I'm also a person that frequently, because I want to know as much as I can, I do a lot of research and I look at a lot of things and I see how other people are doing things. And so a lot of times you can fill out these workbooks, you can find them everywhere, and they're like, find out what your buyer avatar is, and I would go, what? To me, that was just so frustrating because imagining who my buyer was, you know, because I came from a let's sell to everybody mentality. And so I did have to drill down a little bit and realize that, my buyers are going to be other digital product sellers that need my assistance to either learn how to do what they do better or to provide them with products that I create that they can use in their product creation. But also for all those DIY moms that want to do similar things but do it themselves. So that's not just one avatar. So it was very confusing to me. But once you kind of focus in on, if you do planners, who are you making the planner for? If you're designing clip art, who are you designing the clip art for? Is your buyer going to be using the clip art to do invitations? Are they going to do it, use your clip art for creating learning worksheets or planners? Or what are they going to use your product for? If you can't answer those questions, then the people that are out there to buy your product are probably not going to be buying your product because you don't know how to sell it. So you don't know why you're creating, you're just creating. So the next thing is to be recognizable everywhere. You need to kind of create your vibe. Does that mean you have to have everything that looks exactly alike? It doesn't. It just means you need to have a similar kind of vibe that people pick up on across Etsy, Pinterest, videos, and freebies. Like, for instance, with my AI artist playbooks, well, my playbooks in general, I use a very familiar light bulb. That is my thing. That is my branding. All of my playbooks will always have that signature light bulb. It may be in a different form, it may be surrounded by different things, it may be in a different color, but that is my brand for the playbooks, is that bright idea. It speaks ideas to me perfectly, and I just loved that image for my playbooks, and it's worked really well. And so that is my branding for the playbooks. And so that's kind of what you need to do, is kind of figure out what your vibe is. Now, the playbooks are what I consider my flagship product. That leads us into building our own traffic. Pinterest, YouTube, email list, invite people into your brand world and not just your listings. So think of your store as more than just a store. Think of it as your brand world and what you can offer to people and how you can offer it that is different than the way everybody else is offering them things. So if you're doing clip art, what is something extra you can add that sets you apart? For me, and I've shared this with all of you who have purchased it, inside my listing template is my idea guide, because that was something that when I started doing clip art, I wanted to set myself apart from all the other thousands and thousands and possibly millions of listings. And so my idea guide basically was like a little printable book that people could print out. So it served two purposes. It's a PDF, and it allowed me to communicate a thank you message, provide them with the link to their actual clip art. So it's a delivery mechanism. But instead of stopping there, I give them ideas on how to use the clip art, and I show them examples through mock ups of real life ideas and applications for my clip art. And then in the very back, I present them with like a little thumbnail catalog so that they could print this out to go with my clip art packet, put it in a 3 ring binder. And then when they were just sitting around and they were brainstorming their designs and everything, they wouldn't have to continue scrolling and wondering what that clip art pack has that they could use. Because sometimes our eyes get fatigued. Sometimes we get tired of scrolling and we just want something printed. It's not but a few sheets. And if my creators are going to be buying a lot of my clip art, then they're going to get one of these consistently with each one of the packs they buy from me. And so they could keep adding to this notebook, and then soon, they have lots of clip art packs, but they know exactly what images are on those in those packs, and they can design from that perspective rather than having to just scroll through each different clip art pack to see what's in it. That was a way I differentiated myself with my clip art sales. So, if you're selling invitations, then maybe you go a step beyond, and maybe you do charge a little tiny bit more for it, but maybe you include as a bonus an image that's pulled from the invitation and the theme that could be made into an iron-on transfer for your little birthday girl or birthday guy's t-shirt to wear to the party. Think outside the box, because that is where the money is made. The money is not made in just, duplicate. You can make some money that way, but if you really want things to pay off, then think outside the box. Be creative. So create a product path, small product, bundle, flagship product, build a community around your products, around what you do. This could be down to anything from, if you make clip art and you say, well, I just make clip art, so I can't really build a community around that. Oh, yes, you can. You absolutely can. Make a Facebook group, invite people in, and you may have to get on camera, but show them how to use your product. Make transfers, iron them onto a t-shirt, print them out, show them how to print them, show them how to use a Cricut with your, to make stickers, how to print stickers out. It's all in what you want to do. But I promise you that if you build your community, you're going to be grateful that you did, because you're building your customer base at the same time. And this, I use myself as an example. My playbooks, I have my videos, and one of the most important things that I've learned along this journey is that everything changed when I decided not to be afraid to share. So I was in a group and with a lot of different creators, and I started sharing my clip art. I started sharing and getting positive response back from fellow creators. And I guess coming from a background where competition in the real world, for brick and mortar stores, and I started that way, um, most people keep everything close to their vest and they don't share how they do things. And I decided to. That I'm not telling you to go out and share all your secrets. Absolutely not. But I am saying that sometimes the growth happens unexpectedly from things that you wouldn't imagine that they could, because all of this has kind of stemmed from me just making that simple decision to share things with other people, to share my God-given talent, the things that God blessed me with knowing how to do or figuring out how to do with all of you. And to me, that has been so fulfilling to be able to get, the messages on Facebook, the comments on the YouTube videos. The reviews are phenomenal. When y'all share your reviews on my playbooks and when you comment on my videos and you tell me that they are helping you, that just really means a lot to me because it makes every time I sit down to do a video or to create a new playbook, um, I'm doing it with that in mind, how I can change and help you. Because if I'm not helping you, there's no point for you to continue to watch me or to continue to buy my playbooks. So that's my end goal is to be helping you get where you want to go. And then that helps me get where I want to go. So anyway, so don't bog down because you're not being noticed on Etsy. Go out. You're in control of being able to go outside of Etsy. You do not have to sit there and refresh your pages and beg and, plead and get all upset because you're not getting traffic on Etsy. Go out there and get it and send it in. I mean, that's basically what I do. And when I started doing that and sending people there to purchase, which is the way I do it, then Etsy started pushing me out because I was bringing traffic in to Etsy. And Etsy likes that. Etsy likes for you to bring them traffic. That's why they give us the share and save links that save us money off our fees. They like it. You help boost your own Etsy algorithm response by sending your own traffic there. So that's great. So here's your permission to shift gears and stop being a product pusher. Your brand is where the magic is and where the money is going to be for you. So, what are you going to work on next? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a message in the comments and don't forget about all the ways that I have for us to connect. The Creative Dispatch email, that's an email newsletter. It's free. My Facebook group, my best selling playbooks, all the links to all of that are down in the comments. Down in the description. And if you really like this series and you like the strategies that I'm sharing with you in Real Talk, then you're probably going to be interested in the Digital Product Creators Playbook. This thing is packed full of so many ideas that you can implement to help with your visibility, your traffic, and your growth. And it covers Etsy and beyond Etsy. It includes my 8 hours to jumpstart your visibility plan, where we take an hour a day or 8 hours in one day, and it gives you actionable steps to do to increase your visibility and help you grow. So anyway, be sure if you are creating images and you haven't, be sure and check out all of the great tutorials and the workshops, master classes that I have done to help you learn how to do your AI prompting and all of that with your AI art. And this is the playbooks are available on Etsy and Gumroad. If you're an EU buyer, use Gumroad. The Junk Journal edition is only available on Gumroad, and you can check the description for links down in for each one of the things. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you're enjoying the series. Let me know what you think about it. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments and I'll try to get to you. And until next time, happy creating and thank you for watching.